Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is another story time video. I've been trying my best to get some story times up for you guys because I have some very interesting ones and I feel like I'm always either talking about blindness or doing a tag. So I figured I'd chill out. You see I'm on my bed today. I got my little teddy bear here with me. Thank you to my cousin who got me this for Christmas. And I don't know, I just got some music going on. I'm just chilling. So brace yourself because this might get very graphic. I'm gonna tell you the story of the time when I got a gaping hole in the center of my head. So hope that you're ready for this. So as a kid, I was very, very energetic, as I am now, but a little bit more. Obviously, I was a child. So I always had like this obsession. Like I think once I reached the age of like 5 or 6, you know those little like Listerine pocket thingies, the little plastic ones with the little they have the Listerine things. They feel like little like paper tabs, and you take one out and you like use it. So my mom used to buy a lot of them, and I didn't like the taste of it, obviously. So I was just like, okay, whatever, it's cool. I'll take it. But I used to love playing with the little container that it came in. And so I was 6 years old, and my mom was like, okay, you're going to come with me to my dentist appointment. You're going to sit down. Like, please don't walk around. Please don't touch anything. Don't like talk to anybody if you don't know who's talking to you. Like, don't do anything. Just sit and like play with your game or whatever. And so these little plastic container thingies, I think I just liked like the little clicking sound it used to make, and so I would just play with them. And so I was like sitting in the chair, she's like registering, she's like signing in or whatever for her appointment, and her back is turned to me and there's nobody else in this waiting room. So this is me, I'm sitting right here, my mom is like right here next to me on the left side, like by the little counter, and this little container falls on the floor. Obviously, I didn't know what was in the waiting room. Obviously there's chairs, but I didn't know what was in the waiting room. And so I began crawling on the floor like a crazy person, and I end up banging my forehead right into this metal chair. Like, boom. I don't even remember what, like, it was so bad. I just remember me crying my eyes out. Like, I was in so much pain. Like, picture your forehead having like a freaking hole in the center. It wasn't an open hole, but there's like a dent in the middle of your forehead. It's so graphic, I told you. If you've gotten this far, like, it's so I start bawling. I'm like screaming at the top of my lungs. My mom whips around. My mom, first of all, side note, my mom does not take like blood or like any of those like open wounds or any of that stuff. She doesn't take any of that with like, she gets very like squeamish, and it's bad. So she whips around. She's like hollering. She's like, "Oh my gosh. What happened? What did you do?" I don't even know how I was able to talk and explain my situation to her. Like, I was under so much pain, and the dentist come out, and by this time, like, the receptionist at the desk had already called the ambulance. They're like, okay, we need you to get here. Like, this little girl just like banged her head into our metal chair. First of all, why did you have a metal chair in the middle of the room? Why a metal chair out of all things? That's my question. Like, now I'm wondering, like, why? And so my mom is like freaking out. I'm bawling out the top of my lungs, and there's just a bunch of chaos going on. So the dentist like comes, picks me up, puts me in the room, and like immediately I had to lay down. So I'm like laying in the chair. They're trying to get like as many stitches in as they can before I can actually get rushed to get stitches and get everything checked out. And my mom is like sitting in the corner. She's like, oh my gosh, like her heart is pounding by this point. She was telling me, she's like, I was literally losing my mind. Like, so I'm laying there. I have this like sheet over my face so they can do the stitches or whatever. I don't even remember what it was. And like my head was throbbing, like throbbing. And I was just laying there like, please let this, like, please, can somebody just come and fix my head? Because I literally am in so much pain, right? So the dentist is doing the stitches on me. The ambulance arrives, I guess, I don't know who else, maybe like the EMTs or whatever, like the medics or whatever you call them. See, I don't even know. This is sad. I watched 911 with my best friend. I should know this by now. Whatever. The EMTs come and they pick me up, and I'm in the back of an ambulance car with my mom, and I think I was like laying across her lap, and she's like rubbing my shoulder. She's like, "Are you okay? Like, please." And you can't fall asleep. You know, once you hit your head, you cannot fall asleep. And I'm just like, I was so tired. I was just like, I don't want to go to sleep. Like, I just want to take a nap, please. She's like, no, no, no. Like, the ambulance, there's one guy sitting in the back with us. He's like, you have to stay awake, please. Like, you have to stay awake. I'm like, okay, whatever. So they start asking me a bunch of questions to make sure I don't stay awake. They're like, so how old are you? You know? And we eventually get to wherever we were supposed to get. I don't even know where it was. And this guy's doing stitches on me, and eventually, like, the whole procedure is over. But part of me was just like, okay, it's done. And now that I'm older, I'm like, why didn't we get me checked? Like, why didn't we do, like, an MRI to make sure nothing was actually wrong with me? Because part of me feels like that should have happened, but I guess they knew what they were doing, so I don't know. So then I ended up coming home, and I was just like, I was a trooper through the whole thing for some odd reason. Usually, if something, like, bad happens now, like, if I hear anything bad happens now, I'm just like, what? How did you go through that pain? Like, no, I can't. But it was a really weird day. My mom was probably so mad at me for getting up and crawling around the room like a crazy person. And yeah, that is the story on how I had a dent in the middle of my forehead. So I hope that this was, I don't want to say fun, because it wasn't a fun time, but I hope you guys liked hearing about my weird story. Remember to turn those notifications on so you can get updates on when I upload, and I'll see you in the next video.